It is almost that time of the year again when everywhere you look, you will find cheesy inspirational messages, discounts on makeup products and celebrity posts endorsing self-care because it is almost March 8th, the International Women's Day. That's when the world wakes up and chooses to celebrate women. After all, there is progress. Women are better educated. They make up a bigger chunk of the workforce. They are present in every parliament. They're achieving milestones on Earth and in outer space. So on Women's Day, there are slogan-centric programs, hashtag-dependent campaigns and panel discussions constrained within fancy conference halls. But if people were serious about this day, if governments were interested in bringing change, they would take a good hard look at the real world. Because Women's Day is not just about celebration, it is also about shame and remorse. It highlights the erosion of women's rights and the loss of promises. Almost every country has agreed to achieve gender equality, but so far, no country has met the promise, not a single one. So ahead of Women's Day this year, here is a radical idea for policymakers. Why not go beyond tokenism and focus on real change? Let's start with a basic policy prescription. Dose number 1. If you cannot manage to fuel progress, at the very least, do not regress. Looking at you, America, with a deeply problematic return of abortion rights, and Afghanistan, where women and girls cannot work, cannot attend school, or even be heard in public. But if your country is not as bad, don't just offer women flowers on March 8th. Give them safety on the streets, at work, at home. And that's tip number 2, because this is how many women face physical or sexual violence at least once in their lifetime. That's 1 in every 3 women the world over. Now, tip number 3 for policymakers, don't just hold debates on menstrual leave. Fight period poverty, reform gender-blind policies and address the so-called pink tax, because this is how many women still lack access to menstrual products. Tip number 4. While Women's Day discounts on dolls are cute, try to do this. Fight child marriage. Because this is how many women and girls alive today have been married before their 18th birthday. Tip number 5. Don't just focus on wellness campaigns for women. Improve their health. Because women may live longer than men, but they spend more of their lives in poor health. And the health gap equates to this many years of life lost the world over. Now, policy tip number 6, address the gender gap in workforce. Women are paid less than men. The gender pay gap stands at 20%, meaning for every $10 a man makes, a woman is paid $8 for the very same work. Plus, more women may be climbing the ladder, but they still own less than 1/5 of the businesses. They hold less than 1/4 of senior corporate roles, and this is the average. In the US, female CEOs run only 10% of the top 500 companies, and in India, only 5%. If this looks bad, know that there are countries with 0 female CEOs in top companies. And once you're past this morbid information overload, do remember, accelerating progress on women's rights requires more women in positions of power, more women in policy making, because this is the reality. Women lead only 1/7 of the countries, and they finally got a seat in every parliament just about 2 years ago. So policymakers can talk about progress. Their sentiments of equality can come alive on March 8th. But data shows that they are mostly just playing lip service. Superficial conversations or single-day handouts to women only dumb down this important day. A day when policymakers should be backing calls of action, when people should be demanding better from their leaders, when political, economic and social equality for women should take center stage. Because women don't need flowers or feminist slogans or discounted kitchen gadgets. They want to stop being treated like second-class citizens.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogan, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically, in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Lohon, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs, and that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model, and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.